What's up, Twisted people? It's your girl here, Chauncey K. Robinson, Twisted CKR, and I am joined here by my lovely mama, Karen Robinson, as always, for the Charmed episode 9, season 3. We are talking about it. Happy Monday, or as happy as a Monday can be. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, also just running behind. Also, it's Monday. I feel like with anything that happens, you could just say it's Monday. I feel like that is suffice because it has been an interesting weekend for myself, mainly because I did a review of the new Amazon series, Them. And if you guys are thinking about checking that out, please check out my video and see if you still want to check it out, because I do not give it high recommendations, which caused a bit of a stir online on my thing when it comes to certain people not liking what I said or whatever that is, and accusing me of things because I have my hair color is blonde and things like that because I didn't like them. So there was a little drama on my channel underneath that video. So if y'all are interested in checking out that series that's out now, please do check out my review and see if you still want to do it. I don't recommend it, but it is to each their own. And
you tied to their own opinion. I mean,
yeah,
that's like a lot of people say, don't look at this or whatever. You're gonna look at it now because you want to see what the hell she's talking about.
Yeah, but there's also the thing that if I chose to do that, then don't insult me. Everyone's opinion is their own.
This is you.
Yeah, I try to be very, as you know, Mama, I try to be very respectful on my channel to everyone's opinions, but everyone's not, the internet, how the internet goes. Not everyone's going to be nice because they can hide behind a keyboard. So we had a little bit of that issue, but I'm still good. And I love doing this with you all. I love talking stories, no matter where the haters and the people who, that stuff. So that's a thing. So, but yeah, we got episode 9, season 3. And we're getting into it today. A lot of things happened, and I want to first and foremost thank those of you who are joining us in the live chat and those of you who are watching in the replay. It's always appreciated. Blue Wolf is letting us know, hey, Blue Wolf, thanks for joining us. Stephanie is mentioning Them, how she said I got through 3 episodes of Them and I dipped. Yeah, I sat through the whole season. Because I like giving you guys the reviews in an informed way, and I don't recommend that series. So but a series I do recommend that we are loving is Charmed, CW. Our fellow witches, our charmed ones, how we love them. So this was an interesting episode. What we're going to do today, guys, we're going to go to the overall thoughts. What happened this episode, ship talk, because we got to talk about our ships. Mainly a good thing with the Hasty ship, sort of with the Jordan and Macy ship. We might talk about it. Might cause a little drama talking about that. And also predictions. So what were your overall thoughts of this episode, Ma? And let us know in the chat and also in the replay what your overall thoughts of the episode were. And I guess while you're thinking about that, Ma, I would say my main questions, I got a few questions for this episode that y'all can think on is, do you think Abigail can completely be redeemed? I know we talked about it before, but it's reared its head again. Or are you tired of the Abigail plotline of the redemption? Because it seems to get a lot of focus. And what do you think about the fact that Jordan is now, what do you think about the new cousin that is there? Josefina is here now. And what are your thoughts on the new cousin? Because I got thoughts. It's a little lopsided, my thoughts on Josefina and a new character addition. And let us know, y'all. But Ma, overall, what were your thoughts of this episode?
I thought it was good. And the way it played out and everything, I liked it. That's my only thought on that. I liked it. It was, it was fast pacing. It was going good. But Josefina, when they introduced her, I said, okay.
Yeah.
But it was good. The overall view was good.
Yeah. Jaylee, thanks for joining us in chat, Jaylee. I thought it was really good. Glad they had Macy and Jordan talk about what happened last week. Blue Wolf is saying, I don't want Abigail to be redeemed. I want her to be the big bad of the season. I'm here for that. Please tell me that you're here for it too. Okay. Jaylee. Yeah, Jaylee is saying, the jury is out on the cousin for me. I don't want her to push Macy out. Yes. There's a lot of thoughts. I mean, my overall thoughts of this episode was I liked it. I liked the episode, and I liked it in specific kind of ways. Also, shout out to Rupert Evans, who plays Harry, who directed this episode. It was actually a very well directed episode in terms of the scenes and things like that. Visually, it was really well done. So kudos to Rupert Evans for his jam in doing that. But with that, I kind of thought this was a little bit of a lopsided episode for me. There were some very strong moments in this episode, particularly with Jordan and Macy's plot. I would have been fine if we had just stayed with them for most of this episode, to be honest, because I felt like they were like the strongest, most gripping plot line. I don't think that was just because of whatever I might feel in terms of what they were talking about, how it could be relatable to many of us, particularly people of color and things. But it was just the more interesting and just well acted to me plot line of the show for this one. And the other two plot lines with Josefina, I know I keep saying Josefina like that, but that's the way she was talking. It was just like, man, it was so strong. Like, not just the accent, because I got friends with accent. It was just like, it was like so put on to me, and it was a little distracting. But I know you got to have a new character make a splash in a big way to kind of make the attention, I guess. That was all right to me. And the Abigail and the Harry situation, I got thoughts on that too. But to me, the strongest thing that really made me really enjoy this episode was the Jordan and Macy aspect of it. The other ones, I was like, okay, it means to an end. Okay, that's fine. So I would say in terms of grades, I would probably give this a B-. I would give this episode a B- for my scale. What grade would you give it, Ma? Let us know in the chat and the replay. What grade would you give this episode? What grade would you give it, lady?
I would give it I'll give it a B- too.
Yeah. Damie is agreeing with me. I struggle with Josefina's accent. Melania is saying, watching Jordan and Macy's new friendship, JC. I love that. Bloom was powerful, bittersweet, lovely, toasting over tequila. Liliana is saying, I really don't want that blue, mainly because I'm shipping Abigail. Liliana is responding to Blue Wolf, who said that they wanted Abigail to be the big bad this season. Jaylee is saying, I'm kind of down with Abby. They aren't doing her storyline too well. They should maybe dive deeper or just cut her loose. Stephanie is saying, I really liked it. It continued the thematic stuff about dealing with social issues with all the characters. I agree, Stephanie. Liliana said, it felt natural to me, but not sure how authentic since I'm not from their country. Yeah, I think it wasn't so much that she had an accent. I had no issue with that. I thought that's great, diversity. It was like, and I guess that was the style. Like, she was really like going hard at it. And it felt a little, it's not even, you know what? It's not the accent. It was the acting. I'm going to be honest. It was the acting. I felt like it was a bit dramatic, the acting, and it didn't feel supernatural to me. And supernatural, it didn't feel natural to me. And I think that was my issue with it. It was like all of a sudden I'm supposed to be endeared to this character, and I was like, okay, I just met you though. You know what I mean? And you were kind of throwing spells and stuff at everybody a second ago, but I guess at the end of the episode we were supposed to just be cool with her, and I was just like, I guess that just I don't know. I think I need a little bit more time with Josefina before I'm totally on board with her just yet. Nerf Net, thanks for joining us in chat and saying I'd give it a B. I agree with the Jordan Macy story deserved more attention. Stephanie is saying, I also have some concern about Macy's storyline being reduced for a new character. And as we talked about in the last live stream, y'all, it's been 2 weeks, y'all. We didn't talk last week. In the last live stream, we actually talked a little bit about how we felt a little bit about how there's an idea that maybe Abigail has taken some of Macy's plot lines, and certain characters have also taken some of Macy's character elements, right? Maggie is a little bit more of the soothing one now, and that was kind of Macy's deal for a little bit. And, you know, certain characters, it's kind of like they're spreading Macy out. Macy had all these things in her as a character, and then I feel like they took some of that from her and gave it to others for some reason. I don't know, because maybe they felt like they needed to give the others something to do or a little bit more authenticity. I'm not sure. Yeah, Jay Lee was saying, agreed, not everybody needs to have something big going on every episode. It divides the attention too much. Yeah, it seems like, you know, we have the formula with this show where it's ABC plot. You know, 3 teams. Every episode there's 3 teams, 3 plot lines. Occasionally there's the one where all the sisters are in one thing, like we had in the prison realm. But usually it's, you know, they divide amongst each other. So, you know, Damien is saying, I'm just worried that they may reduce Macy's storyline for Josefina. I wouldn't like that at all. I definitely would not like that. I just met this character. I'm not even sure I like this character. So I'm kind of like, you know, what are you saying, lady?
They're going with a plot with that one, with Josefina, especially since she said that her parents or somebody did, you know, they didn't believe her or whatever.
Yeah.
And she came for the book too.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, O'Dane. Hey, Zay. Thanks for joining us in the live chat. It's always good to see y'all here. And yeah, you know, and we'll talk a little bit about Josefina when we get to that plot line. Let's get the smaller one, to me, out of the way. Let's talk about Abigail and Harry's situation. What we had in the beginning, which we'll talk about a little bit, with Macy kind of being in a bad mood, because this is only days after the last episode. It's been 2 weeks for y'all, but it's been only days since Macy dealt with that very tense microaggression of racial strife, racism, basically, from the woman at the photo shoot. So it's only been a couple of days. Macy is still feeling some type of way. And then they're trying to translate the tablets, which, you know, as we know from last episode, they finally got together. And then Harry's like, okay, we need a translation. So I guess it all roads lead back to Abigail. And, you know, of course, Macy, rightly so, it's like, oh my gosh, every time it seems like we need to have Abigail. And I kind of felt on that. And I say that even as someone who likes Abigail's character, it always seems to lead back to needing Abigail for something, because of the fact that they put them in a position where, you know, they need a demon, or at least a half demon. Abigail's a half demon, so she's versed in these things, and she studied it in a way. Although this goes back to the thing of how Macy, had she been allowed to kind of embrace her demon side, or at least that heritage, maybe she'd be versed in demonology, even though we realize, you know, as we'll talk about this plot line, that Abigail didn't know it either. So she knew somebody, but the fact that they had to go to Abigail in the first place, when, you know, if Macy had been allowed to kind of embrace that demon heritage, maybe she'd know a little translating, because she's pretty good at that. Macy's super intelligent, and she's able to decipher things, Latin and all of that. And here we are. We have to go to Abigail for translation again. What did you think of that, lady? That once again, all roads led back to, or at least Harry's road led to Abigail.
What did I think about that one? Well, Harry needed her, and then when she came there, and she always got too close to Harry. He always had to step back.
Yeah,
but, yeah. Well, I think it was good, because in a way she wanted him to, you know, help her. In a way, she was asking him to help her for redeeming herself. So, but like he said, you have to do the work.
Yeah, I agree with you. What do you think about the fact that Macy chose not to go with him? Like, because Harry, to his credit, because he knows he's a good boyfriend, he gets it. He messed around with Abigail. So he's like, yo, I'm not just about to run to her house by myself. You not coming? Like, he looked at her like, oh, I was expecting you to come. There was no way I was trying to go to this chick's house by myself. And she's just like, no, I'd rather put a hot poker in my eye. Both eyes, actually. So Macy doesn't want to there's no love lost with Macy and Abigail, which is a little bit of a missed opportunity, because I feel like Macy and Abigail could have been good friends because they
Yeah, I
do
think
have
so
other
too.
things in common. Kind of like how her and Jordan ended up having the thing in common of being Black, you know, and growing up Black. You know, she could have had the same connection with Abigail with the half demon side, but they kind of ruined that with having Harry mess around with Abigail last season. So Macy doesn't want to go with him, so he ends up going by himself, so that's fine. Liliana is saying, I agree about Abigail and Macy's story being familiar, but someone actually tracked the time each character has been shown. According to that, Abigail hasn't taken as much time as we would think. Well, that's good to know. Thank you so much for pointing that out to us, Liliana. And I agree with you. There are episodes, at least in season 2, and in some parts of season 3 so far. Abigail's not in every episode. She's in some of them, but she's honestly not in every episode. There have been episodes where she has not appeared. So although I don't necessarily go with the idea that Abigail is stealing time from Macy, I don't agree with that, because I don't think that's really the case. I think it's more so plot lines. And that's on the writers. That's not on the character of Abigail. That's on the writers, where certain aspects were taken from Macy, in my opinion, and given to Abigail instead. And so, yeah, that's my thing. It's not so much I feel like Abigail stealing, plot time either way. Zay is saying, it's funny that all of the storylines were separated by race: white, Harry, Abigail; Latino, Mel, Maggie, Josefina; and Black, Macy, Jordan. 2 of them spoke of their culture too. True. Yeah. But if you remember, although Maggie was raised Latino, she actually is, well, she's not. She's actually not Latino. She's actually Black. she's actually Macy's full sister, and but she was raised as Mel's full sister. So that's an interesting thing. I don't know if they did that around the time because of the fact that people were complaining that Sarah, who plays Maggie, wasn't actually Latino, and some people, because loudest voices on the internet, some people were not okay with that, so they kind of switched it in a thing that it was actually a thing where she wasn't, because originally she was, and they switched that like halfway through season 1, so, which is interesting. So we have it. So Harry goes with Abigail. Abigail cannot translate, and then they go off to meet up with Thenric. It was Thenric. What's a weird name? Thenric the Vile, who hundreds of eons ago or whatever, he had tried to take over the demon side and become the demon lord, but he got ousted. This was before Abigail's time. So they go over to this guy. She's expecting, and Abigail actually mentions, she's given to charity, things like that. And Harry's like, who are you and what have you done with Abigail the Horrible or whatever? And, she's explaining, because it seemingly Abigail has chosen redemption. She does not want her demon side to totally consume her. So we know that's a development from the last episode, because I know there was the question of whether or not she was going to push against this or whether she was going to let it go, kind of let it take its course. And she's pushing back against it. She does not want her demon side to take fully over her. So she chooses to help Harry go to Thenric, because at first Harry wasn't going to go. He said, I'll figure out some other way. But, she ends up taking him. Okay, fine. So she ends up taking him. And we get Thenric, and we're expecting this foul dude, and we end up getting this really chill kind of guy who almost kind of has monk vibes about him. Were you expecting that? Were you expecting something else, lady?
Yeah, I was looking for somebody really evil, but he turned out to be really nice, in a sense, calm.
Yeah, he turns out to be, at least that's what he was saying at first, right? Yeah. Nerfnet is saying, exactly, Macy and Abigail could have had a fantastic bond, helping each other through their struggles. Instead, they made them enemies. Over a guy at that, I feel like, was the most, the pushing factor was the idea that for whatever reason, they had Abigail want Harry. And it seems weird that Abigail would even want Harry, now that I think about how her character is, that she would want the nice white lighter dude. It was like, she seems like she would want someone with a little bit more edge to them, like Mel, but I digress.
Jimmy guy.
Who? Oh, yeah, Jimmy. They could bring Jimmy back.
Her. I mean,
Yeah. So what we eventually get is the fact that Abigail's not trusting that Thenrick, who said he'll translate. And the idea
Yeah,
is like, at first it's like, I'll translate if you let me come back. I'm not as mean as I was. But Abigail, rightly so, actually, as we find out, does not trust this guy. She's like, something's not right. We as demons cannot just suddenly zen our way out of being who we
yeah,
are. We have that in us. It's who we are. We are, I don't know. I feel like demons are maybe the supernatural equivalent of those of us from New Jersey. Like we are dramatic and we get loud and voice and stuff like that. And so, my mom, she's acting all calm now, but she can get loud when she
so
wants
I
to.
am calm.
Speak for myself. Yeah, okay, lady.
Yeah, I
Yes,
am a
yes.
very
I
calm
feel like
person.
demons might be the supernatural equivalent of those from New Jersey. But like you can't tell a Jersey person to calm down. We are calm. This is just how we talk. Um we're just always up here. So and so eventually it's found out that he had the amulet. And I thought that was an interesting twist I thought it was interesting the way they had them acting, like total logic, everything
Yeah,
like that. And it was cool. And we'll talk about it a little bit with the ship talk with Harry kind of confessing why he feels the way he does regarding Macy, about the situation she dealt with earlier in the week for them. But it was interesting because then Thenrick wants Harry to kill Abigail. But basically, Harry, through logic, explains he was like, you didn't figure anything out. You got a shortcut. And basically, your shortcut doesn't really help you because it's even worse. Then he was like, logic without passion is just horrible. Because I mean, yeah, passion without logic is a lot, but logic without passion is just like death, and it's like death, in a way, like it's not worth living. um and so what you have is what was interesting to me, that Abigail, within her logic though, without the passion, seemed to be okay with Harry killing her. Were you expecting that?
no, I wasn't expecting that. She said yes, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it was good though, to the point where he was explaining everything to her. She was explaining back to him, saying that it was okay. And the other guy, what was his name? Thenwick.
Thenrick.
Thin, thin, thin.
Thenrick? Was it Thenrick or Fenrick? I don't know.
I don't know which one it was. I know it was a Rick in there.
Yeah.
But it was good. I like that. Especially he told me, in order for you to get this, you have to kill her. And
Yeah.
then I thought Harry was going to do it. He took the knife. I thought, oh, he's going to kill her.
I mean, logically speaking, I feel like it would have made sense. But even Harry said, actually, that's not very logical. Like, yeah, you would do the thing, but like the thing is, you're not actually cured. So you probably wouldn't bring about peace. It would only last
Yeah,
but
that's
so
what he said.
long.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be better having you and not her would kind of be the same eventually. So he kind of made his logic of like, it still wouldn't work, which I thought was quite clever on their end,
He took the
Yeah.
uh,
And so they do a thing that's interesting where they're like, what are you going to do? Kill me? And you think maybe they'll do something passionate like that, but they're like, we're going to do something much worse. And then they just leave. And that's what they did, which was kind of anticlimactic, but also very much in line with them being so logic, where it's like the most logical thing to do would be just to leave you in exile. Bye. Like, why would we kill you? Let's just let you do your thing here, because that's what you've been doing for eons, which I thought was kind of funny. I laughed when that happened. And yeah, that was I thought it was good. We got the translation. All of it was kind of a detour, but we got a little bit more about Abigail's situation, and we got a little bit more into insight of what Harry had been feeling, and one step closer to the overall arch of getting the tablet translated. But then, of course, Abigail, being Abigail, tried to kiss Harry. And Harry just wasn't feeling it, of course, because he's in love with Macy. And he's just like, you know, it's not going to be a shortcut. You basically got to do what you got to do. Do you think, let me know in the chat and also on the replay, y'all, do you think that Abigail did that because she was trying to act out? Because I don't really think she's like all that into Harry like that necessarily. I think she has feelings for him to a certain degree, but I don't think she's like, oh my gosh, I always have to have you. Do you think that was like her kind of acting out a little bit, kind of being like, I am who I am. So kind of being like, I'm just going to do what I want. And that's why Harry was like, you need to do the work to be a better person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think she was just kind of acting out when she tried to kiss Harry, knowing that it would be something that wasn't good?
Yeah, well, she was, like you said, this is who I am. That's who, you know, she was trying to say, this is me. This is who I am. And the same thing, well, she likes Harry. Let's put it that way. She do like him, but
she likes Harry. I think she likes Mel better than Harry, but yeah, she likes Harry. She likes Harry because he's a nice guy to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, Blue Wolf is saying that demon was manipulative as heck. Yes, it was. Yes, my mom is looking good. She got the fro. She rocking the fro today, y'all. We love her in the fro.
Thank you.
Jaylee actually points out, and you're right, Jaylee, Maggie is half Latina on her mother's side because, of course, how can we forget about Marisol? Marisol is Latino. So technically, storyline wise, they all are half Latino. I guess I was just figuring. I was speaking to the thing of how initially when the show started, it was this idea that her and Mel were full Latino heritage, and we find out that they switched that. But you're right, she still is technically half, just as much half as Mel is in a way.
Yeah, she said but she don't speak fluent Spanish.
Yeah.
I didn't, because she was talking about an interview that they had or something, and she said you can guess who's there. Her what's his name?
Yeah, Antonio,
and he spoke fluent Spanish. Yeah. And she was so mad at that.
Well, she was saying she was mad that people assumed that she could speak it, but also mad that he swooped in, which just speaks to the issues of being person of color in certain situations or ambiguous looking and
that's true, because people can't think that you should know something of their language, and you look at them and go, I'm not from there.
Yeah,
because I have got
yeah, everyone thinks you're from like the islands usually. Right, like Dominican.
I'll be looking at them no.
No.
Or they thought I was when they speak French, I know a little bit of French. I
like Haitian.
Yeah, and then when I spoke that, they started really speaking it. I'm looking at them, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But back to this part now. Now with Jordan, I want to go back. I want like Jordan and Macy. They was trapped in his world, right?
We didn't get to Jordan and Macy yet, lady. We didn't get there yet. That's the next plot line. Don't you move forward yet. Okay, so Blue Wolf is saying that demon was manipulative as heck. Yes, he was. Yeah. It was actually quite smart what he did, but the logic he was leaning so hard on actually beat him out. So, so there's that. Damie is saying about Abigail, she doesn't love Harry. She's just a demon, horny pants. That too, she's a demon. She's like, hey, you're here. Let's get it. I mean, Abigail flirts with everyone. And I feel like, Abigail is kind of the type who is like, hey, if you're willing, I'm willing. If I'm into you, it's not really a thing. So, Liliana, who I believe is talking about Abigail's like, I feel like that's one of her coping methods too, speaking to NerfNet. But I'm not sure because how some things just happen in this show. Yeah, some things come out of nowhere. NerfNet, to speak what NerfNet was saying, I think Abigail falls back on habits to feel a sense of control because she feels out of control internally. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I feel like she did that because she's used to that. She's like, I'm going to go to what people expect of me. I know you're with Macy. I'm going to be the villain here interpersonally and still come on to you. And that's why Harry wasn't, it was funny because Harry wasn't like, oh, you're pathetic. It was like, Harry, it was as though Harry knew that's what she was doing. Harry, that's why he said, he was like, you got to do the work. Because he knew, he was like, you're trying to come on to me right now and cause drama because that's what you're used to. You're used to causing drama. You're used to being the villain. And he basically says, do the work. You don't have to be this way necessarily. So that's why I was saying, I was like, I don't feel like there's something where Abigail wants Harry back. I think it was like you were like NerfNet is also saying in the chat that it was more so her acting out how she usually has a tendency to do. So I agree with that for sure. So yeah, that was an okay plot. I like the little twist of, you know, logic and everything, and they got what they got. Okay, so moving on to Jordan and Macy, who you wanted to move on to, lady, because you were excited about that. I really like this plot line. I thought it was the best plot line of the episode. What we had in the beginning was Macy was still feeling quite irritable over the situation. And, you know, that's how things like that can go. You know, you don't really, things like that happen and they can stay with you. It's not, you know, they can stay with you days after, hours after, weeks after, months after. Yeah. And we're seeing that even though it's been 2 weeks for us, it's only been days for her. And so we have this issue of her still feeling that way. And she kind of snaps at Jordan when he first comes over. Jordan comes over because he's supposed to be doing a thing with Maggie. And Jordan still has a curse on him, so they can't get too close, but she snaps on him and she's like, you need to be more careful. It's a whole thing. Macy was not in the mood for nobody. And then what happens is the new cousin basically puts the spell on them and throws them into a thing that's going on in Jordan's mind that he needs to still work out. And so they end up in Jordan's old high school. And we're learning, this is an episode where in this plot line, we learned a few things about Jordan. And through learning things about Jordan, we learned things about Macy's feelings, about her, who she is in society. What did you think about that?
On what part about Jordan?
Yeah, just learning new things about Jordan, like who his ex was, how his ex used to walk over him, but he didn't, he kind of just let her walk all over him and stuff like that.
And with the guy, he said that guy gave him a whole lot of hell through the whole school year. The guy that bumped into him?
Yeah, until his growth spurt happened. But I'm talking about the girlfriend too, that he went with the girl who clearly like, let me get $20, you need to drive us here, and then she cheats on him, like things that Jordan was saying. Yeah. Jordan was kind of a pushover. Maybe up until he went to war.
Mad.
What was that, lady?
Like you know, this is how she always wanted Jordan just so peaceful. You don't never get mad, but you know, you let people just walk over you on this. Like that's what she was trying to tell him in a sense.
Yeah. No,
you really went with her.
Yeah. Jackson McNuggets, who is joining us in the chat, is saying A+. All three plots were engaging, intense, and smart. Cool. Yeah, Blue Wolf is also making the note that I think many of us probably made as soon as they were on screen together. Off topic, Jordan and Macy would make some beautiful babies. They're just a cute, honestly, they're a really good looking couple if they were ever to get together. I'm not even gonna lie. And I had to keep myself from shipping. And I was like, I don't ship this. No, you're not. You guys stop having so much chemistry. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Yeah. Right? Oh my God. I was like, oh, what's going on here? But it was interesting because we got Jordan in high school, and then we had Jordan's situations when he went to war, how he lost a friend or someone he had bonded with and they died anyway, someone he tried to help. And it was interesting because first I just thought this was really beautifully acted, but it was interesting because we got, like you said, Macy saying, why won't you allow yourself to get mad? And I guess this also goes to, interestingly enough, what some of us have talked about how, and we joke about it, right? We're even joking about it in the chat right now where we're like, Jordan is everyone's therapist. You know, it's so understanding. And it's interesting because here we have Jordan deals with a lot of stuff underneath the surface, some things that he himself hasn't truly worked out. And sometimes that's the way, right? Someone can be so good at solving everybody else's problems, but when it comes to his own stuff, he can have this shortcoming. And I thought that was really great that we got to see while still being connected to Macy. So it wasn't just this one-off about this, secondary character, but we got to see who Jordan was and what made him who he is, and some of the struggles he deals with, and how him and Macy have similar struggles, right? Like that scene in the auditorium where he was like, you want me to be angry? You want me to lash out? Is that what you want? And Macy's just like, no, I want you to know that you're totally justified to feel anger. You are allowed to be mad. And I think that was really poignant to me. And let us know in the chat and also in the replay, y'all, what your thoughts are regarding that, because, I felt like, wow, here is some good writing here where you're using this character to also connect to your main character. And so they're both moving forward. It's not like the main character has to stop their progression and just deal with the side supporting character stuff. They are progressing together. And I think that's why I love the melding of the Jordan and Macy hanging out and having that heart to heart, even though it was gripping. It was just like, you're allowed to be mad and you're allowed to have these feelings. You're allowed to want better, and even Macy. And in that anger, we got what Macy felt too, where it was like, I have to deal with this stuff. And if I lash out, if I stay angry, then I'm not doing well. I'm not being mature about this, and I thought that was really powerful. Yeah. Damien is saying Macy and Jordan look good, but no, I ain't shipping them. Hasty forever. We agree, Damien. We agree. Just aesthetics, you know what I'm saying? We just trying to paying attention to some aesthetics going on. Catus, thanks for joining us in the chat. Catus is saying Jordan is extremely selfless. It was about time we got to see him feeling his feeling. Exactly, because Jordan is someone who very much, this was starting to be my issue with him and Maggie a little bit, where I was like, he seems to be very much there for Maggie. And Maggie is there for him to some degree, but I felt like, he clearly wants a relationship with Maggie, but she's like, no, I need to do this. And he's being so understanding, but it's like, he still deserves something, somebody to reflect on with this, and, just something for him, because he gives so much. Maybe
that's why Josefina, whatever her name is there. Yeah, but I'll watch out on that one.
No, I don't see that happening.
No.
Zay is saying, I wish they mentioned Macy's demon side when it came to her anger. As the old demon said, rage is what fuels demon power. So where's that fuel going for Macy? Exactly. Macy got rid of her powers. And I guess there was this idea that because she gave away her power, she no longer had her demon side. But it's like, this has been a part of her for so long. We saw it with her flashback, when she had the beautiful braids and stuff, where, a guy made her mad and she just basically did something to him because she had to, and her, Marisol came and told her, you have to kind of calm yourself down and things like that. Because this was something inside of her of having to deal with this. And I think that's still there, and we don't get that. And I feel like it's a missed opportunity to deal with the fact that maybe she still has rage in her that can lash out a little bit. But is it all gone? I think it's a missed opportunity not to keep her, having that demon side to explain it as well. Not that takes away from, from the fact that she can have rage with or without a demon side, because, it's also that interesting thing of the angry Black female, right? The angry Black woman, and how as soon as she pushed back on the woman last week, the woman was ready to call security because suddenly she's a threat, right? And here it is. We have the next episode where Macy's like, no, she's still dealing with her anger. She doesn't feel like being nice right now. She's still dealing with her anger. Harry wants to talk to her about it, but Macy's like, as we, we'll talk about with the ship talk, Macy's like, it's exhausting to have to explain to you why this really pissed me off, because I don't want to keep reliving this just so you can be educated on it. You know what I mean? So I thought that was, that was a good point. Damien is saying Macy's demon side was taken away and now they have to go to Abby. Stephanie is saying, and I agree, I want more reciprocation from Maggie. Speaking on Joggy Vera Chase relationship. Yes, we'll get to that in a little bit. Letizia, thanks for joining us in the chat. Letizia is saying Macy does have rage, but Harry and her sisters are always making Macy wrong for it, even if Maggie is Macy's. I agree. I think, and I think Letizia, you were the one in the replay. You were watching the replay, and you actually pointed out something very interesting that I brought up in the live stream last week about how certain aspects of Macy's personality and stuff are going to other characters and things. And I think with that, in the same sense of Macy having her anger at times, kind of being made to be like, let's deal with your anger so you're not angry anymore. And I loved, that's why this Jordan and Macy thing was so good, because it wasn't so much Jordan being like, you can't be mad, deal with it. It was more like, no, you're right. We both can be mad. The struggle continues. Like, we're mad, and that's okay, but we can also find joy in the madness. And I thought that was an apt way of dealing with that without Macy feeling like suddenly she has to let it go. It's more like it's nice to have someone to really talk to about this. That way I can work it through and deal with what I have to deal with. You know, it's not necessarily putting a neat bow on it. It's more like I can deal with it because you get what I'm talking about, you know. Kat is saying, the way I saw it, the end of her conversation with Jordan at the end felt like a pause, not an end to the discussion. Exactly. Like they said, the struggle continues. It's something that they still have to deal with. Mercenary, I agree, is saying, I like the unique variety of duos that we had in this episode. I definitely liked it. We finally got a Macy and Jordan thing, and I thought that was really good. Letizia is saying, yes, Macy definitely needs a friend she can relate to. Maggie can't do that. To agree. So overall, this was my favorite plot line of the episode. And it was just really well done, right? Like the school, and then him seeing his ancestor on stage, like it was made like a play, but it was like the real thing. And then I didn't really understand the dynamics of the witch that cursed him actually being inside the spell. I didn't understand how that worked. I'm not sure if that was just, they finally just kind of wanted to deal with the curse and get it over with. So they made that happen, because if it was, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was a spell that nothing was real there, how could the witch really be there to lift the curse from him? Did you think that was a little contrived, Ma? Let us know in the chat, and also the replay. And also, if you want to show some love or just ask a question that you want us to spend a little bit more time on, please do. Donations of a super chat are always appreciated. But, we love talking in the chat no matter what. But what are you saying, lady? What do you think? Do you think that was a little weird that the witch was actually there?
Well, remember they said, like the girl said, when she cursed them, she put them in the bag or wherever she put them in. She said, unless they can't get out unless one of them is cursed. And she told that he had to work through that. So in a sense, whatever he was going through in there, he had to deal with the curse. And then, the woman said in order for him to get uncursed, he had to deal with what happened with his forefathers before that. Because you see how she told him, when he did it, she told him to kill him. And they was fighting and everything like that. And that's when he told her, I can't, go back in the past. I can't change that. Yeah,
which was really powerful. Yeah, so you think the witch was just kind of with him no matter what?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said, you have to, because I think it was it episode 2? Back then when in the old one.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, how is the witch really there if this is just a spell and none of those other people but Jordan and Macy are real?
Yeah, but she was real though.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed kind of weird that she could be up in there.
Yeah, well, hey, look, this is magic, so you never know.
I guess that's what we'll say. It's magic. It's magic.
It's magic. So
it's magic. Plot hole. That's a plot hole. No, that plot hole is magic.
Yeah, like I said, he had to deal with it. He was thinking about the curse, so the woman came in the curse thing.
All right. Okay.
That's how I see it.
Sure. Trans Christian actually has a point in saying, how could Maggie read a spell in Spanish in season 1, but now we find out that she doesn't know much Spanish? What's going on? Okay. We'll talk about that in plot. We'll get to that. We're going to talk about it, Trans Christian. We'll talk about it. Because that is a question, right? It's magic. Maybe it's magic. My mom likes to talk about plot hole. It's magic. It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic. It's magic.
Yeah. Ray is speaking to my question about the witch. Ray is saying maybe her spirit is always with all the cursed descendants. Okay. O'Dane is saying similar. I guess she follows him wherever he goes because she cursed him. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. I'll accept it. It's fine. Okay. I'm not gonna rock the boat. Boot Wolf is saying they had to lift the curse because that was the only way he can get out of there with Macy. That's true. Although they were working on it outside of it too. They're working on it outside of it as well. So Ray is saying that curse is always on Jordan. She always was trying to kill him. So maybe that curse was more of a haunting. Yeah, maybe she was always haunting him and she was there as well. Caddis is saying, it sounded like to me the curse had more to do with Jordan's perception of it, like he needed to let go of his trauma before he could truly be free. Okay, I mean, that's the metaphorical sense of it. I think, and Zay is saying, I think the witch just wanted to not be a ghost and decided to hop onto the spell. Yeah, maybe she was just like, you know what? Maybe this will help him because I'm kind of tired of waiting for him to figure this out. Yeah. And NerfNet is saying, I don't think she was there. I think it had to lift the curse himself. The answer was to find the answer within. He had the power all along, like when the sisters got back the power of 3. Okay, so NerfNet is saying that it wasn't really about her. It was about he could break the curse by understanding to finally let it go. Okay. Jaylee is saying she is a ghost, so it's not too much of a stretch for her to be there. I think they wanted to get rid of the curse and they just stretched to make it work. Yeah, I think the real ultimate answer is the writers wanted to get rid of the curse, and this was the way to do it.
One way to lift it up, because the ancestor was there, the one that she cursed on. And, he needed the key, so they had to go through the motions.
Yeah. Mercenary is saying, what's going to be Jordan's main story arc now that the curse is broken? I think, that's a very good question. I don't know why you think they're gonna make Jordan and no, I don't know why you think there's gonna be some type of triangle between Josefina, Jordan.
Why?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think Jordan's gonna be interested. He seems like a loyal type of guy. And I don't think they want people to hate the cousin. People would hate that cousin if she came in.
Like I said, something's gonna go on with this cousin. This whole plot line with the family that their mother never talked about. Come on now.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll get to that. See, you jumping ahead to another plot line already.
I'm just saying, when you start thinking that way,
yes.
My mind's going that way. Mm-hmm, and you try to say, if Jordan don't have a line there, but he is, because right now he can touch them. He can't even touch Maggie. So him and Maggie, they can't be apart. So that something got to go on right there.
Well, this is, and we'll talk about this ship. Let's talk about that in ship talk. In terms of storyline for Jordan, I think he's a very useful person. He's still going to be at Safe Space. He wants to do he's doing the pro bono type, the pro bono lawyer stuff at Safe Space. So he's still going to be around. He knows they're witches. He could simply be an ally. And I think this may go to,
they can do it.
He's an ally. He's someone that he's not the one to walk away from a fight. So he'd probably be like, you know what? I want to keep helping you guys. So let's do that. Let me help you. And there are some theories going around. I had a viewer, a person in the replay, because I like checking out y'all who talk about in the replay as well. It's always great seeing your theories. And it was a really interesting theory that a person had where forgive me, I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I'll remember it later. Where they were saying they feel like Jordan is on his way to being a new white lighter. That may be the way that they connected, that somehow he might die helping one of them and then he ends up becoming a white lighter, and that would be the way to keep him around or connected to the magic. What do y'all think about that? I actually think it's a pretty interesting theory, but although the person did say they think Jordan's gonna die trying to protect Abigail, which I was like, I don't know if it'd be Abigail. I feel like it'd be Maggie, but I don't think they were thinking about it in a romantic sense. I think they were just thinking, who would he be around that he could, like, maybe.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not trying to bust the bubbles on that. In order for him to be a white lighter, don't some of the elders or somebody else older than them had to be in that moment to bring him to be a white lighter?
I think someone has to have the power and the magic, and I think we know that the charmed ones already do. So I don't think it would be that much of a stretch.
They can bring back people to life. Bring back a life or whatever. But like I said, if they're gonna try and make him, I don't think he can go.
So you don't think it's gonna be a white lighter?
I don't think he can be a white lighter because somehow Harry. You see how they made Harry? How they made Harry? I didn't understand that either.
Well, they don't have to do it that way anymore. They can still bestow someone with the powers. Okay, are you saying this because you don't want Jordan to be a white lighter, or you just don't think it makes sense?
It don't make sense because I put it this way: in order for him to be able, like I said, in order for a white lighter, you had to have the elders up there or something like that, something or power to be. Let's put it that way: the power to be, whoever over them or whatever. He just said, "Okay, he's a good guy. He ain't gonna die. I'm gonna make him a white lighter." But then they're supposed to. If somebody made him a white lighter, so that means Harry is not the one. Somebody else is over them. That's what I'm saying.
That's true. But as someone else pointed out in the chat, let me find it. Jaylee is saying Celeste is still alive. She can do it. Celeste was the one that made the white lighter. She was the one that created the ceremony or whatever to do it.
Okay, that's true too. But in order to do that, so you mean she's gonna take one half of him too? And
no, I was saying that they wouldn't have to do that anymore. Harry is still who he is. I don't think they have to take his dark side. First of all, Jordan probably doesn't have a dark side, but like I don't think they have to separate him. I know, but you get what I'm saying. I'm just basically saying they wouldn't have to do that part. Because the only reason why they separated them initially was because Celeste was on some BS. The elders were on some BS saying that basically you want to take the negative out of a white lighter because you don't want to give them that kind of power and then have their darker side a part of it. But that wasn't something that's required for the ceremony to take his darker side.
I'm still on the part they're going to bring Jimmy back because they're going to need it.
Jimmy is dead.
No. Somehow they need it for Harry. Something's going to happen along with Harry. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, we'll get to that with predictions. Well, you were outnumbered with this one, lady. They usually agree with you, but today they're agreeing with me that they are for they are definitely, the chat seems to be for the white lighter storyline. O'Dane is saying, yes, I would love for Jordan to be a white lighter by any means. Zay is saying, I think Jordan doesn't need to be a white lighter, but he can help the charm one. Okay, whatever. He can help the charm ones without that. Maybe he can learn how to create spells or something. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. I'd be for it. But I also want to make sure that he can still be a lawyer and live his life. I would hate for him to become a white lighter and he can't live his life the way he wants to, because he does have plans for himself. But I think for Jordan to be as great as he is of taking care of people and just being a great person, of a great warrior, he seems to be a noble warrior. It kind of makes sense for him to be a white lighter, which is kind of the most equivalent we can get to an empowered guy on the show without him being a demon. In a way. So I'd be for it. So, but that is a very good question, Mercenary. What will be Jordan's plot line and story arc now that the curse is lifted? So maybe the writers found a different way to keep him around, which is why they got rid of the curse, which is my guess of, so maybe that's part of it. Blue Wolf is saying, if Celeste were to make Jordan a white lighter, she would also have to make a dark lighter version of him. Yeah, but I don't think, okay, that's what you and my mom saying, but I don't think that's necessary for the ritual. I think that's just something Celeste added into it. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Maybe, maybe that's not the case. Okay, y'all, just as an aside, if you have not given this video a like, thumbs up yet, please do so, because we love engagement. We love when you engage with the video, that puts it in front of other people, and other people can join in on our conversation as we slice into this storytelling. We love to do it here. Okay, so that was them, and they worked it out. We got a hug. We got a Jordan and Macy hug. I think Macy really loved being able to hug a friend. So we got a Jordan and Macy established friendship, which is good. And I love that Macy said it's nice to have a friend. Because if you think about it, she kind of doesn't, right? Not a friend who like knows about her magic, knows about all of her, right? Knows about her magic, knows about what she deals with the racial aspect, all of that combined, who is not a sister, and it was not a lover, So I think that's really good for Macy, and hopefully we get more of that. And it doesn't have to necessarily be romantic or anything like that. It doesn't have to get messy like that. Yeah. Okay. So to this other one with Josefina. I just love saying her name like that because that's how she said it, Josefina. I'm on the fence about her. I'm just like, oh, okay. All right.
Soap opera kind of,
right? Like she's kind of very soap opera-y. I was like, okay, I'm kind of okay with this. I know you love. See, y'all gotta understand. My mama loves her telenovelas. Oh my gosh, what's the one you watch all the time? Oh my gosh, there's this one you.
Passion de Galava, something like that.
The one with the brothers who are cowboys on a ranch. She has watched. It's not even that. I mean, it's like what 10 years old, but they have it on. It's like on Netflix or something, right? Oh my gosh, you watch that, so you rewatch that telenovela so much. Libertad was my show though. Libertad, that was my one. That was my telenovela. That was my jam. So I already initially liked Josefina because she was. Prisonera. Yes, that's the one. Prisonera. That was my jam. So as y'all can see, we like telenovelas here. As my mom watched them so much, and I ended up by proxy watching them as well. So I love the telenovela vibes Josefina was giving, because she was like, I'm your long lost cousin. Like they should have just did a close up, like like what? Very true. And so, as Trans Christian actually points out, love that they have a Puerto Rican trans woman as a cousin. As a trans Puerto Rican woman, that made me cry to see that kind of representation on this show. And I think that's so true, Trans Christian. It really does speak to the representation of how necessary it is when we see ourselves on television. I think that's one of the reasons why I love the character of Macy so much. Seeing a witch who is, a Black woman on screen is just like, yes, I don't get to see this as live. And I can guess for others of other, marginalized groupings, it's really important to see. And I think Josefina is a fun addition so far. I like the soap opera character. I wasn't feeling her so much that she already was throwing spells at people that she didn't know about, which is very dangerous. But she explains it. She explained it later why that was the case. She was like, I basically had to learn on my own, which it was very interesting. The situation, right? Because Josefina is trans, and she's a trans woman, and she was saying that basically when she transitioned, their family was okay with it. But the thing they were not okay with was her trying to do magic, because there's this gender conformity regarding magic, which doesn't really make sense to me, because I mean, you have my understanding, although we haven't seen a lot of them, and remind me if I'm wrong, y'all. I think there's been, witches. I think there's been male witches, and things like that, and witches who are non-binary and things like that. Although this was the first time I feel like they addressed it in the series, although I feel like we've seen a variety of witches on the show thus far. I know we've seen a variety of demons. I feel like we've seen more variety of demons than we have witches, to be honest, which is a little lopsided. But I thought that was an interesting take, the idea that her family was more so like, you know, you can't embody this because it has to be a naturally born woman who embodies it. And I thought, you know, that definitely showed her struggle in the initial aspect of it. So I thought that was, you know, necessary, and I thought that was good. But it was, I still think, I still feel like I'm still not totally clear on her. I think she's good. I do think that. I don't think she has any underlying thing, but it was interesting, kind of like you pointed out, Ma, how Maggie was saying to Mel, why is it that our mother never told us about our other side of our family? Why did she leave and go to college and basically, as Josefina is saying, take the book of shadows?
Because there's a reason behind that. There's a reason. Watch it. We will find out. We will find out.
Yeah.
Let's bring this in.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's an interesting, hopefully they don't just drop it. I mean, so what that means is that we might be seeing another side, because Marisol never mentioned this side of family. So she must have had some type of falling out with her family. And the question is why, you know, and will Josefina tell us more about that when it comes to, you know,
she's going to tell the version of what her family told her, and then she's going to tell them, and they're going, you know. But then, you know, they might go back, you know, throw some light on it when they be like, you know, they might bring the mother back, talk about how they talk to the mother, and the mother would say certain things about the family when they ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I hope they do go there, because somehow that's going to fit into, I'm sure by the finale, somehow this is all going to come into play.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I think it definitely is. I think, you know, it's interesting that we're seeing other family members, but in what capacity? You know, like I feel like it'd be interesting if Josefina does kind of give them a little bit of an opening. I would like to find out more about Macy's dad and Maggie's dad, right? Like, where's that family at? You know, are we going to see some family members from that side of the, I mean, we're getting the Bruja, and that was another interesting aspect of it. Damien saying Jordan can become the first male witch. Y'all just want Jordan around. Y'all like give him a white lighter, make him a witch. Maybe Jordan's half demon. Maybe that's what we'll find out. I don't know. And so I think it'll be interesting because we're getting that aspect, but I want it to be for a reason, right? I don't want it to just be, let's throw some more characters at everybody, because sometimes the show can be lopsided in dealing with the characters they have, right? So I don't want just characters for character's sake. That's not what I want. So I do hope this leads to something, that Josefina isn't just there because we need another character, so let the crazy cousin come on. Like, let's have her have a purpose there. Although some people are saying, let me finish this one. Some people are saying, Ma, that the reason why they're bringing in Josefina is because Mel, the actress that plays Mel, is pregnant. So she may not be able to do as many scenes. So they need a third witch there to help out. My only issue with that is I don't really think you need a third witch like that, because it's the power of 3 and Josefina isn't one of the charmed ones. So I don't know how much sense that makes. But maybe they'll do it to give, like if Mel has to go off screen for a little bit, or in a coma, like they like to do in, you know, soap operas when someone's pregnant or needs to do something else, they'll let Josefina kind of be the third person around, which would be good for some people who are worried that it would be Abigail that would become the third person. So this might help some of y'all who were worried about Abigail becoming the third person they use if Mel had to go off screen for a little bit. So maybe that's why it's Josefina, you know. What do you think, lady?
She did look kind of fat. I was wondering why she got gained so much weight. You can see that.
Well, I mean, she could gain weight no matter what. I mean, it's her choice,
No,
I guess.
really.
But it was noticeable. It's noticeable, yeah, because she's pregnant.
I didn't know that. Now I know why. But no, they brought her Josefina in there for a reason. Like I said, it's about their family and this family, and they didn't discuss it in the family. She said the family didn't want her to learn anything, but there's something with that. But what I'm kind of curious on, how the hell did she find them? Didn't that whole thing move from somewhere else?
Well, they're not in witness protection anymore. So I guess they'd be easier to find, which is also weird because why hasn't anyone from the old town they were in be like, "Hey, Maggie, are you alive?" But yeah,
I'm not catching that. And then, so does that mean the house is unclosed? Like everybody?
Oh yeah, they're not in they're not in witches protection anymore.
Oh, so wait a minute. But
hi, Josh. Thanks for joining us in the live chat.
But it wasn't in Seattle. I mean, why didn't they go back to where they was?
Well, because they are where they are. Maybe they just wanted to keep their new life. I don't know. I mean, maybe they were kind of removed from that.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
O'Dane is saying, think she may be power hungry, so Josefina has a different agenda. I mean, it'll be interesting to see Josefina's layers. I mean, I do think as much as, Josefina, I want to believe that she's good. I want to believe that Josefina is good. And I did like the fact that they did talk about Bruja, which is, am I saying it right? Bruja? Which is like the Latino version of witchcraft. And whatnot, and how
voodoo and all like that. And she was saying it was black magic. She said no. She said the black magic, something about their black magic. It wasn't black magic. It was something.
Well, she was saying, Josefina was kind of giving them a little bit of a history lesson, saying that Bruja is not black magic. That's what the colonialists called it when they came here. And basically it's the foundation of the Western magic you guys use now. Kind of giving them a little bit of a hit, like kind of like decolonize your mind, guys. Like this is, they tell you it's black magic, which is a very interesting concept. As someone who tends to study, because I love things like this, otherworldly and witchcraft being one of them. I feel like she gave it's TV, so she's not going to be like, but also because it's not just Bruja, it's not just Latino, like it's not just Bruja magic that is the foundation. There's also hoodoo and voodoo that is also has influenced so-called Western magic and Western occultism and other aspects of that as well. Hoodoo being something that's very much connected to African American people, as me and my mom know, when it comes to certain, beliefs and things that people have. Hoodoo, not voodoo, because those are two different things, although they can intermix at times. And I thought it was cool to kind of delve into that, because there is a little bit the idea. There's a very good booklet that deals with black magic and what black magic actually came to be known as, and how it is, because it's called black magic, steeped in a form of racialization, of racism, of certain magic, particularly in hoodoo, of certain magic, of conjuring and things being considered evil and things like that, based off of who it was who afflicted it, right? And so depending on who was doing it. So I think that's a very interesting little thing they kind of scraped the surface of. I don't expect them to go any deeper than what they did, but it was nice that they it was nice that they kind of like pointed out and was like, hey, this Western magic, is not, this is all influenced by other cultures, And so don't be so quick to believe what they tell you, what's black magic. I read a really great pamphlet about really good book about the question of what we call black magic and who calls it that and who benefits from calling certain magical practices black magic versus good magic. Jackson is, that was just a little aside, guys. So, you know, some of the things I spend my time reading in books and things. Jackson is saying, Rupert did an amazing job directing this episode. The intense scenes were really intense and all scenes were really all. That is a perfect comment, Jackson. I agree with you. Letizia, I guess people are talking about ratings and things. I read an interview that CW isn't fully concerned with rating numbers, but are really trying to help social change to show and represent diversity. CW shows apparently make money during syndication. Well, yeah, there's that. And also particularly with Charmed, they have a contract with Netflix that goes for some time. And so since Netflix already pays, that's where that helps us, those of us who like Charm, not have to worry so much about ratings because they already have a contract with Netflix, which pays a good amount for there. So the show kind of pays for itself since it shows on Netflix. So that's good for us people who don't like, who get a little nervous when we see that some of the ratings aren't as good as we would like. Blake, thanks for joining us in the chat. But y'all were talking a lot in the chat. I'm sorry if I missed some of the comments. Y'all were having multiple debates and things going on, which we love it. We love when you guys have debates and stuff, as long as you keep it, friendly and things. If I miss, highlighting something, because I'm going back now. Blake is saying, I think Josefina is going to develop time power since Mel doesn't have that aspect anymore. They keep referencing time and space in regards to the tablet. I hope not. Like, I don't want a new character coming on here taking powers that our character should just have. Like, who's to say Mel can't have time and space and do that change of like energy? Like, I don't want Josefina to have that power. And maybe I'm just being territorial. Because I'm just like, why do new characters get to come on and take some of the best aspects of the characters that have already been? I totally get what you're saying though, Blake. And that you may be right with what they choose to do. I'm just like, I'd rather not. I'd just rather they get, they're the charmed ones. Why do they just have to have one power anyway? They're the friggin' charmed ones. Like, why can't they have multiple ones?
Yeah, multiple powers, because that's what they did in the old one. All of them got different powers, because I think Piper got more powers, and her powers increased it. Everybody in the old one, everybody got different powers, and then increased in some kind of way. So I'm hoping that they do the same thing here with them.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of threw me off when they did the Spanish and that, and they was in that custody thing, like, we're going to keep them safe in the safe house. That kind of threw me off. It kind of threw the whole aspect of the story off. But then I see what they was trying to go with it.
Yeah. Katis is saying, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I love when Mel and Maggie work together to take Josefina down. Maggie slide across. Oh, yeah, that was very good. See, that slow down motion. I was like, wait a minute, is this Marvel? We watching a Marvel movie? Like, because, it's so funny. Every time Maggie brings out that stick, they always do a close-up. I'm like, oh, somebody getting their butt kicked today. Maggie got the stick again. You want one of them? You can get a stick like that. You got to learn how to use it, though. You got your cane. Lady, you got a cane. Just use the cane.
Could you imagine this? Somebody this.
You do that with your cane.
I know that, but the cane is cane. They see that. But I want to have the unexpected one too.
Yeah. Jaylee is pointing out some technical stuff. She's like, not to be raunchy, but Mel, the actress, breasts have been huge and they keep hiding her behind dark clothes and objects. They aren't doing the greatest pregnancy hiding. Yeah, I think they're just hoping that everyone just realizes what's happening. Maybe that's it.
But we'll, in a sense, yeah, they trying, they do put her in dark clothes, and then in a sense they're not doing close up on her too much either.
Yeah, exactly. Blue Wolf is saying Josefina's power shouldn't be as powerful as the charm ones. I agree with that. I don't want that to be the case. NerfNet is saying, I hate the baton. Nerf, what you got with you better work, you better watch out, NerfNet. Man, you gonna put it on you.
I like it.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all, just checking because y'all were saying so much stuff. So I just want to make sure I get some of the highlights. Yeah, Ray is pointing out, I like the am I saying it right, y'all? Is it Bruhara? Bruhara?
Is the J not pronounced?
The J's not pronounced. I know that much. Bruja, like brujaha, like something like that. Yeah, I like bruja element and venturing towards other witch cultures outside of European witches, and I like that too. And that's why I'm saying I hope that they bring in. That's why I guess Macy is probably the only magical one from her father's side, and Maggie now too. But it would be cool if we got some black witches who, like, I mean, we got it a little bit in season 1 because they did go to a kind of voodoo priestess woman, kind of through the guy Macy was messing around with in season 1. But we didn't really dig too deep into it. And I think there are just so many layers of African American folklore with hoodoo to deal with. And they are in the United States. And there's so many elements of hoodoo here in the United States. That'd be another cool thing to get through as well. Because as much as I love that they're pointing this out, I hope that they don't do that in the sense of also kind of erasing that other cultures have also influenced what Western magic likes to call itself. Yeah, and I agree with you, Damie. I wish the Charm Ones had both old and new powers. Nobody should be barging in. Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Brew her. I'll get it, y'all. I'm gonna get it. Brew Herea. Brew Herea. I'll get it, y'all. I'll get it. I'm gonna work on it.
I think it's the way she said "bruja," because something is not. I know the J is in Spanish. The J is silent.
Yeah. I will, NerfNet. I'm going to let y'all know after this. I'll put it in my pinned comment along with my regular pinned comment, but I'll put it in the pinned comment in the replay in the comment section for y'all because I still have it on my computer. It's a really great book. It dives super deep if you like that. So I love history and I love the history of the world and stuff. It's, and so it really does get into the whole idea of black magic and the history. So if y'all are interested in that, I'll put it in the comment section after the show. And yes, Blue, I'll do that too. Yeah, because they tell you. I need to hear it, y'all. I'm a hearer when it comes to stuff like this. And y'all, speaking of Thunder Force, y'all, I did a review of Thunder Force. Y'all should check it out. I also did a review of the TV show Them. I do not recommend them, but please, before you tell me that I should, check out my review. There was a lot of controversy around my review from some people, but I think I definitely give reasons why I'm not necessarily for that particular series, but I also do a review of Thunder Force. So if you all are interested, if you haven't checked out Thunder Force yet and want to know reasoning why you shouldn't listen to the haters and you should check it out, check out my review of that when it comes to of that. I know Michael is saying in the chat, Michael Thomas, yeah, Maggie kicking Josefina's ass was pretty cool. With the thing of the rolling on. And I know Michael was also, there was a conversation in the chat, and of course we can't, that'd be a whole other hour talking about it here. The whole question of the topics that are talked about in TV shows and what to bring in from the real world versus supernatural. So, I mean, I think, it's different strokes for different folks when it comes to what you want to see in a supernatural show. I think some people like stuff a little bit more grounded in the reality of it. And, some want the escape. So, although I do think this show gives a good balance, depending on what episode you're looking at. So Magic Me is saying, I think a cool way to balance out multiple powers is to give magic fatigue after casting too much during a battle. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Yeah, I think magic fatigue would work. I know, was someone getting nosebleeds after they cast a spell? Wasn't that happening to someone in earlier seasons? Something was happening to somebody, or maybe I'm just thinking of another magical show. It happens on so many magical shows, where someone, when they're casting magic, they start to get a little fatigue if they cast too much. I think that would be a good balance.
I think Mel did that, didn't she?
Yeah, Mel was getting nosebleeds. Yeah,
her nose started bleeding because she was given too much power or something, and she couldn't hold on to it. Her nose started bleeding, and Maggie said, "Your nose is bleeding because it was the power."
Yeah.
what was they doing? I forgot what they was casting a spell together.
Yeah.
They did
Because
all
she was
three.
getting kind of weak. And I thought they were going to
Yeah.
follow through with that. Like maybe Mel was having some type of problems, but maybe that might come back into it. Ed's big sister, thanks for joining us in the chat. Ed's big sister is saying, I really liked how the original Charmed established witches as a non-gendered term. Anyone could be born a witch, and they established that in the first season when Prue protects the young Mel witch. Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends. And funny enough, in the real world witch community, there's that debate as well too, right? Where people are like, can you have male witches, and should a male witch be called a warlock, and things like that, and what does that mean? And that can be somewhat gender discriminatory if you say that only someone with a womb or whatever can be a witch. There's a lot of conversation around that is very much connected to witchcraft. So it's interesting that even though they bring in what seems like a very real world topic for like real world, it's actually connected to how people in magic practicing communities also have this debate as well, funny enough. So I think that's interesting. So maybe they were on some message boards and saw that come to it. So, okay. All right. So there was a lot going on there. And then we saw that the tablet got translated and basically scorpions coming from the sky. Harry said they basically released chaos. What did you think about that ending, lady?
Wow. I said, scorpion. I was figuring maybe he gave him the wrong way. Maybe it was the wrong description. But I guess it was the right one. Because it lit up. I said, and that's what that's what it translated into. Mm-hmm. And she said, when I said bring chaos, I said, they must want to have chaos on the next episode.
Mm-hmm. So do you think it was a good thing that they translated that tablet without kind of thinking about what they were translating?
Yeah, because I didn't understand. I said, is it the right because when it translated, then when the scorpions, I said, wait a minute, you sure he gave them the right translate, but it worked. It came, he said it, but they said it in Latin. That's what I'm saying. He said it in Latin,
and she said it in something. Yeah. I think he said it in the demon translate, and she said it in Latin. Hasty translated this, which is great because they always work well together. But I don't know, maybe they should have thought about what they were saying. Like, what? Yeah. But you got to do what you got to do.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, as long as when we go next week, when we go back to that episode, I hope they do not skip that because they skipped the other thing with the monster that was
when Jordan came in and it was like, oh, monster, and suddenly there was no monster, and you just kind of had to assume that they vanquished the monster, but it was kind of like, what?
You just skipped the whole. I mean, we could have played on that, but now if we get back there and they change the whole thing, I want to know that'll make no sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like scorpions coming from the sky, they're going to have to address that. I just wonder if the scorpions coming from the sky is connected to, if it's just going to be scorpions coming from the sky, or if it means that they unleash something on the whole entire world of chaos, like chaos magic, which has been a term, funny enough, that I've been hearing a lot lately in various show properties. I heard it in Marvel with the WandaVision. If anyone watches that show, I did weekly recaps with my brother, my mama's son, who is also my brother, Damon. We did weekly recaps of WandaVision, and they talked about chaos magic. And chaos magic is actually a real world thing in the sense that it's not just something made up by Marvel or something made up by Charmed in this regard. Chaos magic is something that, you can look it up and you can, find that other people have talked about outside of TV shows. So it'll be interesting if they lean into this idea of chaos magic and what that means. So I think there's some things. Damien is saying the ending reminded me of that Jumanji game movie. The more they uncover something, the more plagues result. Yeah, that might be what we're dealing with.
Maybe they have to get everything off the tablet and then but like I said, the finale the finale is how many episodes did you do?
I think we're getting 18 episodes this season.
18, okay.
I think it's 18. So I think, we only got 11 more.
So really,
y'all, I can't do math. It's not 11 more. It's not that many more.
So what I'm saying is, they do the finale, got to be sometime in May or June, right?
Yeah, but they're also switching dates. They're going to be on Fridays starting in May. So we'll figure out how we're going to be doing our recaps. We might still, y'all, when they do the switch, we may still be doing our recaps on Monday instead of Friday. We might just keep our recap the same, even if they might switch to Friday. I just think that makes the most sense.
Oh, wait, I first heard of Chaos Media from Buffy with Ethan Ray.
What was happening? What are you reading, lady? Oh, yeah. Ray is saying, I first heard of Chaos Magic on Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Ethan Rain. Yeah. Michael is getting on my choice of Thunder Force. Don't be a hater, Michael. Thunder Force is funny. I know some of y'all. I mean, honestly, y'all, it's a super silly. It's super silly. Thunder Force is super silly. So, but
it's gonna be a fun super silly.
Yeah. Ray is saying, Mama's looking so fly. That hair and those accessories hitting. Give it to the guys. I love how you guys just love like gassing up my mom because she is amazing, and it is all the love you guys show her is so amazing. We appreciate it because she deserves it. Of course, you're not just blowing smoke up her ass, but she, it's always nice. Yeah. So, Letizia is saying Macy already has used sacrifice and blood magic. Mel seems absolutely open to as well. I think expansion of other forms of magic cultures is coming. Yeah, we saw a lot of on leaning on the spell casting and stuff, and not so much stuff shooting out of people's hands as much. So yeah.
But wasn't Mel under? She was under a spell when she did that when she did the blood thing.
Remember? Yeah, they were. But I think they've done it before then too. She did it before then. Macy did it before then when they did the blood, when they were looking for the first thing against the allergy. She did some type of cut of her hand.
I have to go back.
I think it was, maybe it was Harry. Someone cut their hand for another spell. Mercenary is asking, what type of magic do you think Josefina will get? I don't know. Let us know in the chat. I'm not sure because the question is Josefina finding her magic, right? Like what's going to be her natural thing? But this is the thing. Do all witches have some type of thing they do? I feel like that's kind of just the charm ones who have a special thing. I feel like most witches, it's kind of a generalization of their magic. That's my understanding. Tell me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I feel like most witches, it's kind of like in general, they can do magic. I feel like with the charm ones, they are the ones that have a specific thing on top of knowing how to wield general magic. So I think we'll see, but it'll be interesting, Mercenary, what that might be. Magic Me is saying maybe nature magic, maybe that might be a thing. So, okay.
The chaos, because she came at a time when all
I don't want her to have chaos magic either. That's too powerful. Chaos magic is too powerful for one person to have, and ain't gonna give it to the new cousin that just showed up. I'm all about new characters. I'm territorial, y'all. I'm just a little tired because maybe I really just wanted Macy to be a badass half demon too, and that got taken away from me. And I'm gonna be a little annoyed if a new character comes on and gets to take like some major power structure. Like, nah, I'm not okay with that. like I'm just not all right with it. All right, y'all. So let's get to ship talk. Ship talk. Yes. We gotta talk about ship talk. First ship talk, let's talk about Hasty because they were the main ship. They are the main ship in general, but they were the main ship. This one kind of separate in a way. And quickly, they were just basically Harry wasn't sure. He was like, I feel like, as he explained when he just had logic, he was like, I feel like I am being further away from her as this goes on, like I can't connect with her the way I want to. And I thought they had a good moment at the end where it was like, he understood that he needed to stop asking her to explain the situation because it just is. And he just needed to be there for her, understand that it was messed up and that's what it was. And they had that moment that was very sweet. They did the hand thing. And
he couldn't walk in her shoes.
He was like, I understand that I will never understand. And I think that was really important. about it, which I appreciate it. I think that was a smart way of going about it, and so I was happy about that. And yes, they legit talk. And I agree, Zay. When they did the hand thing, there was a lot of sexual tension. We love the hand thing for the two of them. That's their thing. We want kisses and love scenes eventually too, but the hand thing will have to suffice for now. So yeah, is there echo, Mom?
No.
I feel like there's echo. Okay, so yeah, I like that moment that they had. What did you think of that moment, lady?
I liked it. It was good. But I like when, like I said he couldn't really put, be in her shoes because he would have to put himself in her shoes to really understand what she was going through, and that's true.
Yeah, they're so sweet. We love them. Yeah, so I think it was a good Hasty episode for sure. Because they separately Macy got to kind of talk to someone who got it through Jordan, and Harry got to understand that he doesn't need to vanquish anything for her in this regard. He just needs to understand that she can't take the time to teach him, which can be exhausting for people of color sometimes to have to explain why they're doing something. Sometimes it's just good to understand, hey, that's messed up. I'm dealing with it. It sucks.
I think Harry best, watch out since Jordan can hug people.
Okay, Hasty had a good thing, but we got to talk a little bit about Jordan and Macy. Now, this is a friendship ship thus far, but they were very cute together. What did you think about their dynamic? And let us know in the chat and in the replay, what did y'all think of the Jordan and Macy dynamic? And some of y'all are already joking that Maggie needs to watch out. That Jordan and Macy hug was nice. And I agree, Blake.
I can touch him. He can touch me. Let me hug you. Just hug me. That's all I need is a hug.
Do you think Harry's gonna get a little jealous that Jordan now can basically hug all three of the girls?
I can hug them. Okay.
That'll be funny if there's a little play on that. Blake is saying, ooh, did y'all see how firm Dr. Vaughn's grip was on Jordan? Maggie better watch out. Right? I think they have a very cute dynamic. Liliana saying, I would ship them if we all didn't know how Hasty is in game. Very true, Liliana. And as Damie pointed out earlier, we believe Hasty is in game, and that's that. And also, I just don't want it to get messy, because if there is something I like Jordan and Harry's friendship too. So I wouldn't want that to get weird.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna go there.
Jaylee is saying, love Jordan and Macy. The hug tricked me into almost shipping them, but I snapped out of it real quick. They had that backyard scene. They were doing tequila shots. It was getting real nice. I was like, wait a minute, what's this music? And you know what's so funny is Rupert is the one that's directing. I'm like, Rupert, what are you doing? You're directing this scene. You're gonna make people ship against your ship. Don't do it. You gotta give them a little bit more of a buddy type thing. I mean, they had the nice scene, the nice music. I'm like, what's going on? O'Dane is saying friendship, but I wish they had cast Jordan as the white lighter. Macy and Jordan look so cute together. Zay is saying, I think Macy has been needing a hug, and she finally got it from someone who gets it. I like that her first touch was with Jordan and not Harry. Okay. Stephanie is like, no more love shapes, please. Hasty in game. Yeah, we don't want no triangles here. We don't want no triangles going on. Ray is like, that's a good trio to hug. I'm here for Macy and Jordan, more so if Harry and Macy wasn't thrown so soon. Okay. Chase Wood train. Yes. Yeah. Christian is saying, I think the next episode they can all hug each other, judging by the promo. I haven't seen the promo yet. Because I was running a little bit behind getting on this live stream, so I got to check out the promo. But y'all might be right. Mom, can you turn down your Computer just a little bit. I feel like there's an echo. Okay.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. It's still a little bit of an echo. It's weird. Okay. Yeah, I don't, like I said, y'all, I don't think there's going to be a Jordan Macy ship. It's just nice that they got these scenes together because I've been wanting them to hang out. And I think it's good for Jordan to be connected to other people, not just Maggie, right? So.
Well, that's going to work out.
As Big Sister is saying, I hope all the sisters have more platonic relationships. Romance doesn't need to be their only focuses. Agreed.
I agree with you on that.
Okay. And just as an aside, now that Jordan does not have the curse, that means him and Maggie can touch. So what do y'all think about that? Because I'm here for it. But do y'all think, I feel like I'm worried that now that they can touch, that Maggie's going to use some other excuse for why she can't engage with him. Do you think she's going to do that, Ma?
I don't know, she shouldn't, but I don't know how the writer's going to go with that. Because all the time, you figure, okay, now they can touch, and then the writers throw something else to it that way. So we got to see. But I hope they can. I mean, since, because she couldn't touch him because there was magical, but he's not cursed no more, so. And that's another thing. When they came back, they didn't even show how, interact with Mel and them. I mean, they came back, but why didn't?
Yeah, Jordan just kind of left. Yeah. So we didn't get to see that scene. But Zay is saying the year of Maggie needs her to tackle her education and not Jordan. All right. I just feel like it's this weird dynamic that makes it seem like someone can't balance themselves and still be in a romantic relationship. And I don't know. I feel like it's true. Some people you can't focus, if that's the case. Sometimes you need to just focus. But I feel like it's like, if that's the case, do people ever fully have their lives together? No one, and Maggie's young. It's like, most of us, even I'm in my 30s, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm still getting stuff together, but does that mean I can't date? I can't be with the person. I have to make them wait until I get it all together. I don't think any of us ever get it all together. You know what I mean?
All together. Believe me, I'm still trying. I'm older.
Yeah. So it's like, how long can she make Jordan wait, if she really wants to be with him and she's not just using it as an excuse?
Well, she won't be able to. Not this time. He can touch. Unless she's trying to protect him from something else. But I think that you never know. Like I said, the writers, it depends on what the writer's going to throw in on that.
Yeah. Nerfnetta said, Maggie already said she wanted to focus on her own journey. She used the allergy as a partial reason, but she did say she didn't want to be distracted. Yeah.
Well, how is Jordan going to distract her? That's what I'm saying. He's focused on things that he wants, and she's going to be focused on what she wants. I mean, it's not like he's going to say, okay, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. I think she can have both if she realizes she can still stay focused and still have a relationship with Jordan.
Yeah.
She never think that you can't have both.
Yeah.
Unless you let whatever your relationship with that person override what you want. See, that's on you, not that person.
Yeah. And Blake is saying, I hope not. They can't keep making excuses to keep couples apart. They need to give the characters and the audience a break from that mess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seems like y'all are people, and let us know in the replay too, y'all, and also in the chat. Seems like there's a little bit of a division. Some of y'all are like, Maggie needs to keep focusing on herself. And, that's just how that is. And some of y'all are like, kind of like where I'm at, which I'm like, she can get herself together and not have to push Jordan off. Like, they deal with life-threatening things like every week. Life is short. You know what I mean? Not short. It doesn't have to be short, but it's eventful. And at any moment they could die. And it seems kind of weird to keep putting off a dude that you like for that.
Well, it's gonna come. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right now we got episodes, so it's building. Anything? Is there another ship talk?
Yeah. No, I think that's about it. Do you have any predictions as we close out, lady?
My prediction is this. Now with Josefina, I use their name. With her there, they're gonna teach her, like Maggie said, they're gonna teach her what magic is. And I predict that, like I said, it's gonna have something to do with that family of hers, and they're gonna find out more about the family of their mother family. And I think, and with Abigail for the redemption part, I think they're gonna come with, in a way they're gonna come around to that, how she's gonna be able to redeem herself. Maybe she have to step in front of somebody or save somebody's life, that she can be, redeemable. But I predict that the Charm Ones and the White Lighter and even Jordan, they're gonna come to a part where they will all have to be there to fight one big thing, because something's coming big.
Something's coming. Although it hasn't been made very clear what that something is. I mean, hopefully it becomes a little bit more clear. We only got like a handful of episodes left, so they need to kind of start moving on with the arc a little bit. Like, who's behind this?
What is coming? I mean, why is this happening? Why because everything that's on that tablet have happened already, but now you need to know why.
Mm-hmm.
Life is too short.
Yeah, Kat is the same. Maggie needs to have some same epiphany that Macy had at the end of season 2. Life is too short. Christian is saying, I hope we meet the sisters Abuela soon. Erica, we were wondering where you were, Erica. We had the Jordan episode. Erica, you're like the Jordan fangirl here and the Jimmy fangirl on other times. But yes, Erica, we love Jordan this episode. He was amazing. We were actually talking about what could be his next arc. So maybe in the replay, you can, in the comment section, you can say what you want his arc to be in the future.
Yeah, his hair was long. He had a ponytail.
So, okay, y'all. So I think that's kind of the main stuff, we're going on. I mean, we were 2 weeks, it's been 2 weeks, so we had a lot to cover. But as always, it's always great talking to you all about this. And I got to check out the promo for the next episode, which should be exciting. But it's always great talking to y'all in the chat. If you haven't already, please, give this video a like, a thumbs up, share it around if you want other people to join in on the conversation in the replay or in future live chats. And also check out my other reviews. I did a review of the new Amazon original series, Them. It's not the nicest review, but I give my balanced view on why I don't recommend the series, and love to hear y'all all thoughts with it. Also about Thunder Force, which y'all are talking about in the chat and also probably going to be talking about in the replay. I do a review on that as well. And others that are coming this week. I will also, if you are going to be checking out The Nevers, the new HBO Max series, I will be doing a weekly recap of that. Not live, but it'll be weekly videos of the new series that is coming out, that premiered yesterday as well. So y'all can check that out. That video should be up later today at the time of this recording. But thank you all. Have a great Monday and a great, safe rest of your week.
Have a good one.